those days, you have only few churches. But now churches are more than lotto kiosks. You go to places, there are churches all over. Yeah. Some, you get there before you know. So, my advice to my friend, the pastors, is that you see to the welfare of their members and their church will grow. Life, I repeat, without Christ is meaningless. If you can trust God in all aspects of life, I want to assure you that though it will be difficult, but it will be well with you. And you got to start from a humble beginning. And you come up. Don't force to do things that you cannot do today.
Oh boy, welcome to the ABC show. I must say that I'm honored to have you on the show today because I've made references to you, to Old Girl. Most of the things I do, I learned from you. Being a development worker, how I got to understand what you do with your days with World Vision, raising us as a pastor, the early morning devotions and everything. And I sit down and I wonder how you were able to put all these things together. In fact, 3 of us, Philip, Sami, and I, and then our 4 sisters, how you were able to do everything that you've done together. And the fact that where we are now, I would say we probably earn better than you were earning at our age, but it's even difficult to do the things that you were able to do when you were at our age. So I just want to understand, as your son and people who are watching us, to understand what molded you into the person you were even before you became a father, became a pastor, became a development worker. What molded you into who you are as Siegfried Koku Matti?
Thank you so much for this opportunity given to me this afternoon.
All right.
To share just a little about my life with you.
All right.
I started with a humble beginning.
So,
But by the grace of God, He has brought me to where I am.
okay.
So it all depends upon God.
Okay.
Yes. To be brief. Yes.
Okay.
So when the next question comes, we'll continue.
All right. So you mentioned the God factor, and being a Reverend minister, I understand how the God factor is big on everything that you do. But I actually want to understand, growing up, what you studied, what the choices you made that brought you into the work you do, and then even before becoming a pastor.
Okay. All started in 1975
1975.
when I completed commercial school
Okay.
and came to Accra in that same 75.
Okay.
And by God's grace, I got a job
Okay.
with BH Industries.
Okay.
I worked there for a year. Then I moved from that place to another place,
Okay.
National Rabbit Project.
Okay.
I also worked there about a year.
Okay.
Then I changed work again
Okay.
to Mbodibo Ghana Limited.
Okay. That's your CV,
Yes.
like everything you've done.
At workplace.
Okay.
Yes. So, when I was working, I never forgot God. So, I joined church choir when I was young,
Okay.
1968. I joined church choir at Pontibo.
Okay.
And when I went to KJB to further my education at EP Middle School, still I joined the church choir.
Yeah.
I have been saying jokingly that I held all the posts,
Yeah.
the position in the choir,
Yeah.
except the position of choir mother.
It was reserved for the women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by so doing, I was consecrated with others in the church in the year 1982.
Okay.
From there, I went to the seminary,
Okay.
the EP seminary
Okay.
at Peki
All right.
to do the catechist course as well as the pastoral course, which we call pre-ordination.
Okay.
And after I've completed that, I was commissioned into the priesthood on 15th October 1995.
The way you keep your dates, and I wonder whether, I mean, there are a few days that I keep in mind. I remember when I wrote my BEC, my SSC, but I don't think I have dates in mind like you do. The parts where you talk about getting your first job, and I mean, looking at the situation in Ghana now, and then, was it so easy to get your job? What did you study in school, and did you get a job in line with what you did right after school? Because you mentioned that you were in commercial school. Did you get a job in line with what you studied, or you had to do something on the side before moving into what you studied?
To be frank, that has not been the case.
Okay.
I came out as a typist, grade 2.
Okay.
By then, looking for a job, you have to go to labor office.
Okay.
So when I was coming to Accra, I went to Jessica and obtained my labor card.
Okay.
So anytime you are going to labor office, you have to go with your
Labor card.
labor card.
The labor card shows that you are qualified to work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I went there the first day, the second day, the third day. Only laborers, they were coming in for laborers.
Okay.
Every time I present my card, they say, no, we are not looking for typists. We are not looking for clerks. So the fourth time, I decided that any liberal work, I will do it.
Okay.
So the fourth time, I presented my card again. The man looked at it and said, no, we are not looking for clerk. We are looking for laborers. And I said, I will do it.
Okay.
He said, no, how can we take typists as a laborer? No. We will not do it. And in fact, I begged the man.
Wow.
Then they took 11 of us.
Wow.
We went. When I tell you the interview, it will surprise you.
What was the interview then?
At the interview, you know, they prepare this thread.
Okay, the yarns.
Yes,
Okay.
that we have been using for Kente Club.
Okay, for producing
Yes.
the yarns for.
Yes. Yeah. So they pack them in boxes. So they pour it out, and you have to repack them.
Into the box.
Yes, into the box. And after you have done that, you have to pack them. That was the interview.
Okay, so you rearrange the yarns in the box, and then now you arrange a number of boxes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first, second, third, fourth were quite easy.
Okay.
But the fifth and the sixth was a bit difficult.
Okay.
But I was able.
Okay.
And to be frank, I was the third to complete
Wow.
that assignment.
Among the 11 people that
Yes.
were selected. Okay.
Among the 11. So 5 of us were taken
Okay. Out of 11.
out of the.
So even then, it was difficult to get a job.
Yes.
You don't just get a job. And I'm relating that to what we experience now. So let's say I go to school, I study accounting, and I'm looking for just an accounting job now. And if it doesn't come and I'm not willing to do anything else, there's a likelihood of staying home for long if you don't sign up for something lower than you studied, which was what you did with the liberal job.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I started working there, I worked there for a year.
Okay.
Then I decided to quit
Okay.
so that I can look for my job.
Okay. Something in relation
Yes.
to what you studied. All right.
So when I left, there is nowhere to go than the labor office.
Okay.
So I went back to labor office.
Here in Accra.
It's here in Accra.
Okay.
You know, VRA area.
Okay.
Yes. That
In
is
Accra
where-
Central.
In Accra Central.
Yeah,
That
the
is
VRA
where
building, yeah.
the labor office
Okay.
was. So some people came again that they were looking for typists.
Wow.
Then I rise. You have to run.
Wow.
And they pick 3 of us
Okay.
labor card.
Okay.
So we went. All young men, three of us.
Okay.
So when we went in for dictation.
Okay.
Dictation. And they dictated something to us.
Okay. More like a passage.
Yes,
Okay.
passage. And luckily, I studied shorthand,
Okay.
which the other 2 didn't.
Okay.
So I had the upper hand.
And writing, finishing your
Yes.
dictation first.
They were writing in longhand, and I was doing shorthand.
Okay.
So none of them knew.
Okay.
Even the officer didn't know.
Okay.
So after you have done that, you go to the machine
When type.
and type.
And what machine was that? Is it a typewriter or a computer?
I use a machine called Imperial.
Imperial. Typewriter.
Yeah, typewriter.
Wow.
Jokingly, we have been saying A wahin, B wahin.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was what I used, and the other people to use different type.
Okay.
And to be frank, I top.
Okay.
I top them. So quickly, the man just told me that you have passed the interview.
Okay.
So tomorrow, come for your appointment letter.
Okay.
So we went. The following day, I came.
And this was a rabbit project?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The rabbit project.
The rabbit project that was in Atomic.
Atomic.
So
Kwabinya.
Okay, Kwabinya.
Yes.
Which
Even
is why
no.
they
When
call
we
the
go,
place.
they have been calling that place
It's Rabbit.
Rabbit
Yeah.
Junction.
Yeah, Rabbit Junction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I went, I typed my own appointment letter. Appointment letter.
Okay.
So I started work
Okay.
from there. And all the other places, I got my secretarial
Jobs.
jobs.
Okay.
So when I was doing that, I sat for another examination, and I got grade 1.
Okay. So what you started with grade 2?
Yes.
Like you got grade 1.
Grade
Okay.
1. And went on to be a secretary.
Okay.
So that one, you have to write
Okay.
shorthand.
Okay.
Your boss will dictate the letter.
Okay.
You write in shorthand.
Okay.
You go to the machine
Type.
and type.
Okay.
So that was what I was doing throughout up to World Vision.
All right.
The World Vision, that one I was taken as a secretary.
Okay.
Because I have gotten the papers, the
Okay.
certificates.
Okay. So I met you. I came into the picture while you were at World Vision. So it's a World Vision part that I know of,
Yes.
and I also remember your ordination as a pastor. And I know World Vision is a strong Christian NGO.
Yes.
So I want us to look at your work in World Vision, and then you as a pastor. I would ask whether you think if you had done a different kind of job, you'd have still become a pastor, or you think World Vision, the life and culture at World Vision made it possible for you to pursue a pastoral job whilst you were still with World Vision?
In fact, if it were not World Vision, I would find it quite difficult to become a pastor.
Okay.
When I went to Wakri, I attempted
Wakri is
the cocoa
Cocoa,
research.
okay, the Cocoa research job, okay.
Yes, but quickly, my boss told me that they will not allow me to go on study leave to become
A pastor.
a pastor.
Okay.
So I was there when I wrote application to World Vision.
Okay.
And luckily, they called me.
Okay.
World Vision was a Christian organization.
Yeah.
So I joined World Vision for some years. Then I applied. They quickly granted my request.
Okay.
Though it was not
Time for you to go on study leave?
no, it was not study leave
Okay.
uh-huh,
Okay.
with pay,
Okay.
but they allow me
To go. So
To
the
go.
role was still there for
Yes.
you to go and come?
Yes.
All right.
to go and come.
Okay.
Even when I come back on holidays,
Okay.
I'll go to
Okay.
office
Okay.
and work
Okay.
and go back
Okay.
to school.
Okay.
That is what I did.
Okay.
Though not very easy,
Yeah, I know.
quite difficult.
Yeah, right.
Because you people, you were there.
That's true. So so I mean, every time I followed you to church, mainly it was because there was an occasion. Mainly, I mean, my church life has been with Medina AP Church,
Yes.
where you didn't really pastor at Medina AP Church when you came back from pastoral school. But I've watched the work you've done across different churches. I mean, the credit union, the school, the farm, the celebration of different days, and having also been in the NGO space for a while, I think that the NGO space actually shapes you if you want to actually serve people in a way. And I look at you and you are different, not just because you're my dad, but because I've actually got the opportunity to actually watch other churches and the things they do. Some of the things you start, you leave, it doesn't continue. I was with you in Tamale. I did my national service in Tamale, the things you're able to do in Tamale. And I just want to understand whether you think that your job as a pastor was even shaped by you working for World Vision. I mean, they gave you the opportunity to go to the pastoral school and come back. Your leadership and everything that you did as a pastor, would you also attribute that to World Vision? It was just something you...
100% to World Vision. If you are not committed, devoted, and focused.
Committed, devoted, focused. They all even seem alike.
You can work with World
World
Vision.
Vision.
Yes, World Vision. People jokingly call us work vision.
Yeah.
Yes. Work vision. With World Vision, you have to be committed. You go to communities, share the word with them. Anytime we get to a community, the first thing you do devotion
Okay.
with the people. You could remember when you were young, we were doing
Morning devotion.
morning devotion.
Yeah.
Some of you will come to the devotion and pretend you are dozing, but I won't look at you, I won't mind you. So, World Vision molded me the more.
Okay.
And my employees too found something in me that I don't joke with my Christianity.
Okay.
That's why when I applied to go for further study, they quickly granted it. When you develop the people, you develop the church.
Yeah.
When you develop the church, you develop the people.
Yeah.
Because your members, they contribute a lot. And you have to seek for the welfare of the people before the church can grow.
Sure.
I went to a place, let me call the last place, which is Hofiave EP Church.
Yeah.
People will come there. Stafo, we need support. We need some money. You are aware that the church doesn't have enough money to give as loan to members. And before I came to Hofiave, this credit union, I'll be practicing it at places.
Okay.
So I quickly brought it, share with the executives, then the session members. They've accepted it, and we started. And I want to tell you that people collected loan to build, people collected loan to buy taxis, people collected loan to buy deep freezers for their jobs in many ways. And I think credit union, if well handled, is very, very, very profitable venture.
Okay. So I again, growing up as one of your children, I always wondered how you did everything that you did. So you come from, your last station with World Vision was in Kwanta. You come from in Kwanta, like maybe on Friday, work Friday with the church, Saturday, Sunday, and then either you leave on Sunday or leave Monday morning. And I wonder how you put all these together, raise the 7 of us. And I also know that, I know a few of your colleagues with World Vision who left Ghana and I know are doing very well now. You stuck here with us. And how did you juggle all that together? Church, World Vision, I know you had farms on the side, did other things on the side. How were you able to do all these things?
All depend on determination.
Okay.
By then, I knew doing only one job, I can care for my children. And one thing too was that I was in an Accra office. After I was commissioned in that 95, that same 95, I was sent to Nkwanta.
APD.
Nkwanta, ADP. We call it ADP.
ADP, yeah.
That is Area Development Program. Yes. And my church was at North La.
Yeah, North La, yeah.
North La, Tesi, Nungwa. I was there, a pastor. And I have to travel on all weekends, to and fro, from Nkwanta to Accra, Accra to Nkwanta, at all weekends. Because I have to care for the flocks at the church and the work side too.
You had to do that.
I have to do that. And I was doing that happily.
Okay.
Because I was working before I wanted to
Become a pastor.
be a pastor.
All right.
So I have to see to the two. So I was doing that, and even traveling always, I was still farming at Nkwanta. At a point of time, I was having farm at 5 places.
Wow.
I wake up early in the morning, go to farm, come back, at 7:15, take my bath. By 8 o'clock, I have to be in the office, take devotion from 8 to 8:30 every day. Every day. And on Fridays, we used to have Bible studies,
Okay.
which we use 1 hour. And you can get it at any workplace to have 1 hour
For devotion.
for devotion.
Bible discussion.
Yes. So upon all those things, if you don't put those things into good use, then I'm sorry.
Wahala for you.
Yes. So in brief, this is how the journey was.
Okay.
And I must be frank with you, it has not been easy.
Okay.
It has not been easy. But just by His grace.
All right. I know we, as your children, are enjoying from the grace that you enjoy. I do a couple of things, and I look at myself, and I still tell myself that I'm nowhere close to any of the things that you've done, because I've seen you, and I know the road from Nkwanta to Accra then. I mean, the first time we went to follow you to Nkwanta, I remember very, very well. You were with Berenice then when we came to visit you at the church. We spent Christmas in Berenice, and I remember the road very well, the kind of car we came in and all that. It's nothing compared to what we have now. I mean, the Ghana then and now, even though we are still not where we want to be as a country, if I'm comparing the situations we have to deal with and now, we are better off than you were at your time. And I just want to get a better understanding of what molded you into doing this. Is it our grandfather was an all-rounded person and did so many things, or the reality of life actually told you that one job was not enough? And it wasn't just us. I know that my cousins benefited. You took care of people beyond the family. What actually gave you the understanding that do this? Was it the upbringing? Was it the experience, the hardship that you had to go through?
You know, I came from a background, that you have to work with all seriousness. Because when I was schooling, a teacher once said, the benefit of laziness is poverty.
Okay.
The benefit
Of laziness.
Is poverty.
Okay. You want to be poor, be lazy.
Be lazy. And when I was young, I do follow my father to farm, always. And when I was schooling too, I stayed with people. I stayed with my parents from class 1 to class 3.
Okay.
Yes. Then I left to our hometown, to one of my uncles called Mr. Joshua Matti, the late.
Okay.
He was a teacher. We have to wake up very early, go and work in the farm, come back before going to school. So I was used to that.
Okay.
So when I was on my own working I have to wake up early in the morning, go to farm, and come back before going to work. Even I will go to farm, come back, go to office before those who have not been to any place will come to office.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a hot water, right?
You come to office. So I will say that it is through the training that I do not throw overboard.
Okay.
But I kept it and practiced it, and it gave me good results.
Philip, Sami, and I were the ones doing most of the farming. So even in Medina, you had a farm. Opposite our house in Medina, where it's all called brick and mortar now, we used to farm there. I know at the cemetery area, we had a piece of land where we used to farm.
You could recollect all those things.
Yeah, and I know that even before I came into the picture, I used to farm around the aviation area. Today, when we're using that stretch to get to the studio, you were saying you couldn't even find where we used to farm as a family. So I know that you've been keen on agric. And just to shift a bit, and then we'll probably focus on agriculture. I don't think people see the value that agriculture brings, because I remember those days. You travel from Nkwanta, you are bringing us yam, almost everything that we need to cook at home. You carry these things and bring them home from your own farm. I know sometimes you harvest cassava, they process gari, you bring these things home, they keep us going for months, and that's how you supported yourself. You think that it was an era you found yourself in, or it was the training and the fact that you knew that if those things were not around, we wouldn't survive?
Yes. If those things were not around, it will be quite difficult, because you can't buy everything. You can't buy everything. As you have rightly said, most of the things that I've been bringing, they were all from my farm.
Yeah.
They were all from my farm. So I knew, as for agric, you can't throw it out of life. And to quickly add this, when I knew I was going on retirement from the ministry, I quickly started piggery in my hometown.
Yeah.
And I started well. And in 2019, I was the best
Big farmer.
I
remember that.
For Agotime, Jefi area.
Yeah. So,
because I have to plan for my retirement. People don't plan.
Okay.
And after they have finished, then they go back to beg for 2 years contract.
Yeah.
Which I will never do.
I know you didn't want to do anything after 60. Yeah.
Yes.
I also know you were big on saving. You were very big on saving, investment, and all that. And I recall that to protect the land in our hometown, we'll go and harvest flamboyant seeds. And you paid us for that. And that was money we were supposed to keep and used to buy anything that we wanted to buy growing up. We had a corn mill at home. I know you tried taxis a bit. You've done a few things here and there. And I keep saying that I see myself working in that step, but I know that there's a lot that I won't be able to do if I want to follow your step. But what lessons did you pick from that? I know the taxi business didn't go so well with us. I mean, I also know that the corn mill we had to shut down because we didn't get people to run it the way it was supposed to be run. But at Greek, you kept going because you had your hand in it. Is it that if you want to do a side business alongside your job, you should do something that you have control over, or you should just invest and hope that people can take care of it for you?
Exactly. You do things that you yourself can control, monitor, supervise. I wouldn't advise anybody to go into transport business. That one, no. Can do other businesses, but transport business is not the best. Okay. I have tried it, and most of my friends were transport business owners, but most of them have failed.
Wow. I think I refuse to learn from your experience in relation to the transport business because, when the restaurant started, I think I got 2 bikes first. One was stolen. We had one. I bought 2 extra ones. One was stolen. The other was involved in an accident. So the same month the bike was bought, one was stolen. We bought 2 brand new bikes. One was stolen. And so from then, I've also advised a few friends that if I am going to invest my money into transport business, then it means that I'm the one driving a car myself. Yes. Otherwise, then there's no way I'm going to put my money into transport business. I mean, there are other people who have found a way and it works for them. If you're doing it as a full-time business, you have your eye in it, you have your everything in place and fine. But if it's a side hustle where I have to report to my boss, move based on the schedule that my boss has for me, it's not a business that I think anybody who wants to do a side hustle should. I mean, and when Uber came, when this ride-hailing apps came, almost a lot of my friends bought cars to do Uber. Almost all of them. Every single person. Some bought 5 cars, some bought 2 cars. All of them ended up selling the cars. So is it the people that we are that is a problem? Because I keep telling my friends that if you give me 4 people who are willing to put 2,000 cedis together, I mean, including myself, we could start a business every single month. But who to take care of the business is always a problem. Our problem is not starting the business. Our problem is who to hand over that business to, who run it as theirs. If you're not lucky, that is where the problem is. And if it's the same during your generation as our generation, then it's probably a problem that the country has.
Yes. People are not faithful. People want to get quick money. People want to be richer than the owner
of the business.
of the business. They will go, they come and make 70%. Then they give 30% to the car owner. With stories here and there, people are not being faithful at all. And because of that, most of them too could not make it. So, if we don't change as a people, I am afraid things will not go on well with us. Yeah. And if there is fear of God, people will not be cheating here and there. They will accept whatever is theirs and keep it, and they will progress. That than what is pertaining now. All businesses are collapsing because you cannot do it alone.
Yeah,
People have to support, and the people that are to support are not being faithful.
I think that is a big problem, and so as a CEO, your biggest problem is having a team that is able to drive the dream, the vision of the business, and make sure that you're able to achieve it. If you are able to have a team like that, you are sure that your business will grow. In a case where you don't have a team that believes in the vision and is committed, that we all struggle for a while and enjoy, it becomes a challenge.
Yes.
And like you summed it up. The piggery, you employ people, they come in, they go. You employ people here and there, they come in, they go. But everybody wants to be rich. Everybody says there are no jobs. I mean, I alone know about 3 or 4 jobs that are available that people are not really interested in doing. Even when they are looking for salary, they want to be paid. Nobody really wants to do it, but everybody wants to be paid. And I remember when I finished university and I got my first job, I remember I called you and I said that I've been offered a job and the money was this small. And all you said was, if you want to get a straight branch of a tree, you hang on the crooked one to get a straight one. And that has always been something that I make reference to, that your first job, if you're lucky, will give you all the money you're looking for. But what you should fight for as a young person looking for a job is the experience, and hope that experience will be able to propel you to get a better job that will actually pay you what the kind of money you're looking for. So I remember when you were commissioned as a pastor, and as of now, as your son, I sincerely do not know what motivated you to want to be a pastor.
Oh,
I
see. It all started when I was very young. When I was young at Cement, stayed with my father and my grandfather, who was the first presbyter at that place.
Okay.
At that place. So I started when I was young.
Okay.
During children
Service.
service,
Sunday school.
Sunday school, and my grandfather told me they started calling me pastor when I was young.
Wow.
He said one time we were celebrating
Children's
Day, and they gave me something, a passage, and how I handled the whole thing. People started calling me pastor when I was young, even at primary school, lower primary.
Wow.
That was class 1 to class 3.
Wow.
That is how we call it by then. And when I was growing, one day, my mother told me that I once told her I will be a pastor.
Wow. Is our grandmother?
Yes.
Okay.
Our grandmother. I hope you.
Yes.
Know her. So I have been working towards that gradually. And I had it at the back of my mind that I will grow to be
Pastor.
a pastor. And even my first stool that I had, First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 15. By the grace of God, I am what I am. So this pastoral issue did not come in just like that.
Okay.
It started long ago. And by His grace, it came to pass.
All right. I interviewed someone, what I say last week, early this week, and I mentioned that he is a musician. In fact, I made reference to the fact that after confirmation, all of us in the house were supposed to join a group. I, Philip, joined a band. Sami, Kafri were in the choir. Stella, I don't remember, but I know Stella did a lot of FCU stuff. Iram also FCU, yes. So music was a big part of your life, and you still sing. I mean, you take your hymn. You know almost every hymn in the EP hymn. And I didn't see any of us wanting to even pursue that as a career. But you instilled that in us, that you had to play a role in the church. I know Sami, Philip, and I again were in the Israel group for Medina, did a lot of work around that. And no one has been a parent before until you get your first child. And then other ones come and then you realize, okay, the way I raise this, maybe let's change things a bit. And then how was raising the 7 of us for you?
Always I'll be saying it was by His grace. It was by His grace. And I would say, you, my children too, were prepared to listen. You were prepared to listen. After your confirmation, when I say do this, you do that. When I say do this, you do that. It was what brought you to where you are. You know, Kafui, as at now, he is the vice president.
For the church choir?
Yes.
Okay.
Accra Newtown.
Okay.
Church choir.
Yes.
But when you go to that place, you see elderly men and women. But how come?
She's
So, it is by the training and for you people to accept the training being given to you. Well, like this, I've never been to any music school.
Yeah.
But you remember, I do conduct my choir.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was even expecting that as for Kafui, who attended training college, who take
music up.
This music.
Yeah.
Philip started.
Yeah, with a band.
You also started.
I don't remember a single note.
Also started.
Yeah.
But I will say God has been faithful.
Okay.
And you have to appreciate everything that the Lord have done for us.
Okay.
And even doing to us up to this time.
All right. For we, the young ones, what Ghana is now and what Ghana was then, what strategy do you think will help any young person survive, like me here, want to survive, be able to raise my children to that point where I become a grandfather, I see them doing well? One, I know that one job is not enough. That I know for sure that one job is not enough. You probably wouldn't get two jobs, but you need to do some investment on the side. But combining our life as Christians and then our life as parents or young people coming up who want to excel in the professions that we choose, what would you recommend from the point of view as a pastor, as a development worker, and the father you've been to many?
First, as the pastor, I would say life without Christ is meaningless.
Yeah.
Life, I repeat, without Christ is meaningless. If you can trust God in all aspects of life, I want to assure you that though it will be difficult, but it will be well with you. And you got to start from a humble beginning. And you come up. Don't force to do things that you cannot do today. And do things one after the other. And you continue to build on it.
Okay.
And trust God. Trust the Lord in all things that you do. I am talking from experience. You ask a question now that you don't know how I did it. But I gave you an answer that it was by His grace. It was by His grace. My mates and all others, I wouldn't like to go into that. That's the only thing. Trust the Lord. Allow Him to control you, and you will never, never be disappointed.
All right. Thank you for this advice. So now, Christianity now is changing, and the things we used to do in church now, you can't just go to church Sunday, come back, and it will be the same. But there was a part where you said that when you seek the development of the members of the church, then you can actually get a church to grow. And having been a pastor for the AP Church for so many years, 95, you retired at the age of 70, what do you see as one thing that every pastor who is still in ministry or coming up should have at the back of their mind if they actually want to draw their members closer to God and also help in developing these members so they could develop the church?
Yes. Each pastor have to see to it that their members are developed in one way or the other. If the person is happy, if the person is happy, he or she will contribute the little that person has. But if the person is not happy at all, the person is not developed in any way, what do you expect from that person to give?
To the church.
To the church. I had a book. Okay? When you develop, even I said it, when you develop the people, your church members, you are developing your church.
That's true.
You have to see to their welfare. As I said earlier, that people will be coming to me for support. We don't have any money like that. But with this credit union, the money is there. The people will come and borrow and bring it back.
Yeah.
And bring it back. Then they will be happy to contribute the little thing that they have. Because if they are in the church without any support, now church, we are in competition. It wasn't as it were. But now, churches are coming up. Churches are coming up. Even some say they don't give offering. But they are doing a lot of things just to draw people to them. So you also have to plan. We feed spiritually and we feed what?
Physically.
Physically.
Yeah. And now you may have to add the emotion part to it.
You see? And now you have to. Those days, you have only few churches. But now churches are more than lotto kiosks. You go to places, there are churches all over.
Yeah.
Some, you get there before you know. So, my advice to my friend, the pastors, is that you see to the welfare of their members and their church will grow.
All right. Thank you. It's been, say, 3 years since you went on retirement as a pastor, because you retired at the age of 70. How has it been for you? Do you station yourself at one church, or you move from church to church, depending on where you want to go on a Sunday? And how has that been? I mean, you've led a church a few times now. You are back to sitting down and have other people lead. How is all that going? Are you able to share your experience and your wisdom with all these other pastors?
Oh, yes. I do. I went to a place when I was in active service. And I told the congregant that I am here with a scissors, but I am not going to chase anybody to barber his or her hair.
Yeah.
When you come to me, I will barber your hair for you. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So, as I am on retirement, I am supporting.
Okay. Those who want to be supported.
Yes, those churches.
Okay.
I'm supporting. And even my district pastor, last week, he was to attend commission service. And he said, Osafo, please hold the fort for me.
Okay.
I said, okay, you go.
All right.
I will surely hold the fort for you.
All right.
About 3 weeks ago, Stella called me. I was at a funeral one Saturday.
Okay.
About 3 weeks, another time she called. And he said, Daddy, are you saying you are on retirement? And I said, yes.
Okay.
I can't say I am on retirement. Then I was sit.
And do nothing.
No, and do nothing. I have to support
Yeah.
the little that I can do for now.
Yeah. Now you still have the strength to.
Yes. I have to do it. So the question you asked, I've been supporting all churches, all people, those that need my support.
Okay. All right. So before we started, I asked whether you were 73 or 74. And I'm just looking at everything you've done, experienced. You've seen different versions of Ghana. You've seen us grow. We have children. I have grandchildren. If you look at your life, all these 73 years, is there anything that you'd have done differently?
I would say a lot.
Well,
I would say a lot. If I want to talk about this thing, pastoral issues,
okay.
I used to say, because of the experience from World Vision, I do things differently. 3 days ago, the headmistress of Mauko Girls said she visited Tamale, Kuko EP Church. They had a meeting. And after the meeting, they went under a shade. And the young men were saying, Matti Forrest. I said,
Is it the same Matti she knows?
So she was talking to me. See, all places that I have been, I have left a mark.
Okay.
Yes. All places I've left a mark. It was by the experience that I had.
Okay.
So I do things differently.
So I would say that for me and my siblings, I know that we are more than lucky to have you as our dad, looking at how you raised us. I sure may not do everything that you do, but I never forget the lessons that you've taught us. Most of you, when I'm making reference to the things that I do, I mention your name. I mention the fact that we used to sell food at home. That got me wanting into selling food. Probably haven't done really well with selling food, but it was one of the lessons that I've learned in life, and it was something that I did growing up. I'm looking at going into agriculture because we grew up farming. We grew up having gardens. We grew up farming, and I grew up seeing you doing all the things that you did, and I know that if I do them diligently, there's actually a mark that I could also leave behind. So I know that we don't joke with all the lessons that we've learned from you.
Right.
We will have our own. You and us, we had it because we were growing up, but now that we are grown, we probably understand you better than we were. We now than we did while we were younger. So for me and on behalf of my other siblings, we want to say a big thank you for how you brought us up. We hope that we'll be able to follow in your footsteps. I don't think I can become a pastor, but I hope that I'll be able to support the church in my own small way. Yeah, and also leave my own mark in some way, and our children will come in and continue. My last question will be, What plans did you have for us growing up? For all of us, or 7 of us, did you have a specific plan that you wanted? Say you wanted 2 teachers, you wanted a nurse, you wanted a doctor, you wanted. Did you have plans in mind that these are the things I wanted my children to end up being?
I am glad to say I have already achieved my plans.
Okay.
All what you need now is addition. I have already achieved my plans. Today you will know.
Okay.
My plans for you was that all of you should have at least your first degree.
Okay.
And you have done that.
Okay.
I say now you will know. As I said, you all have your first degree. You have job doing.
Okay.
You will marry
Okay.
and give children.
Okay.
And the last baby, I've gotten her job, I've married, has her first child. So, what again?
All right.
I am more grateful to the Lord.
Okay.
And to you too, you my children.
All right.
It has not been easy, but the Lord have taken you through. The Lord have taken us through. The last more thing is be united, share ideas together, then it shall be well with you. And you, more especially, thank you for this interview this afternoon. I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much.
All right.
I pray God that all shall be well with you.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen. I would call this a father and a son conversation. I'm sure there are a few things that I just heard for the first time from my dad that I hope that when my siblings watch the video, they will also get to know. I didn't know about the part where he knew right from childhood that he was going to be a pastor. I know he was very active in the church and the work of the church, but I didn't know that it was more of a prophecy that was coming to pass. So, for me, it's been an eye-opening conversation for me. I'm also honored that we could have this conversation, and I know that it will live for generations to come and see that yes, their great grandfather had this conversation with maybe a cousin, a great cousin brother, sometime in the future. So I'm more than honored to have this conversation, and I say thank you